Hello everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter, and you are joining me on Monday evening, July 21st, 7 p.m. Pacific time. If you are catching this live, if you're catching this on a replay, I don't know what day it is. Anyway, tonight I've got a really fun project to share with you using a few of my current favorite things from Stampin' Up. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kate. I probably said that already. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator on Vancouver Island in Canada. And I go live with card making Monday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and again Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time with my card class of the month. That is always free and available for anybody. All you got to do is prep your pieces and craft along. All right, so tonight I will be using the Write Words stamp set and the Sunflower 3D embossing folder, and I have a feeling many of you have probably seen a lot happening with this folder. It seems to be a current favorite, and I'm seeing creators and crafters, tons of people using this folder in lots of different ways. So I hope I'm going to come up with something really simple and new for you guys tonight that maybe you haven't seen yet, but we'll see. Hello, Marion. Hello, Kate. I'm glad you're catching my live. All right, so I'm going to need this. I'm also using, these are always my favorite. These are just Rhinestone basic jewels. I never get tired of them. And Carissa, hi. It's late. You're a night owl. I'm using the Textured Notes dies, just this little one for the sentiment. And these dies are one of my favorites too. So I'm kind of using all my favorites right now. So this set, I have used a little magnetic sheet that I got off Amazon to help me keep my dies in place. Oftentimes I will take a pen and I'll draw around my dies so I know how many I have and where they go, and I just leave them in the original packaging, but sometimes the tape starts to give way and then my dies don't stay together. So these magnetic sheets that you can get from Amazon are super, super handy for die storage, right? Very handy. So I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to post a link for those of you who might find this useful. It is an Amazon link for my favorite tools because I don't talk a lot about magnetic sheets. I know you hear me talk a lot about Post-it tape because I love this too, but magnetic sheets are really handy for taking care of or keeping your dies in place, right? And they're cheap. So that's my little trick with some of my dies, not all of my dies. All right, I digress. So I just posted 2 links. They're Amazon links if you're interested in the things that I use, some of my favorite things. Hello, Hillary. Hello, Dimity. I'm probably not saying that right, and I feel silly if I'm mispronouncing it. Carissa, you're so sweet. Hi, Janice. All right, so if you are crafting along, then you're going to need your big cut and emboss machine because this folder is not little, it's gigantic. Let's get going. So this is a really simple card. I'm so excited to share it with you. I have got an A2 crumb cake card base, but I like to call this a tent fold. So it is 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded at 5 1/2 on the 11-inch side. So I call it a tent fold just because it kind of stands up like a tent, right? Just like that. And then I love layers, and this card is full of them. Oops, this is my little cheat sentiment in case I stamp terribly crooked. Hey, Debbie. Well, thank you. You're sweet. Oh, good. Dimity, I'm glad because, you know, I feel bad when I pronounce names wrong. And I happen to do it all the time. If Jamie tunes in tonight, I called her Jamie once and I still haven't forgot it. And it was probably over a month ago. So, Jamie, if you're tuning in, I still remember. Hello, Brenda. I'm glad you're looking forward to crafting. Okay, layers. 2 basic black. These are 4 inches by 5 1/4. 2 very vanilla layers, 3 3/4 by 5. 1 Crumb Cake layer. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And another basic black layer that's 3 by 4 1/4. And then I cut out this textured notes die for the sentiment. And if you don't have the textured notes dies, you can just cut your paper out to 2 1/4 by 3/4. No, Chris, I have not changed my memento, but free shipping is happening on Wednesday, so maybe that'll be a good time. Leanne, I'm doing good, and I really laughed when you called me smudgy last night. You're really funny. Hello, Tanya. Did I say hello to you yet? I don't think so. Hello, Lisa. Leanne, you're not late. We're just getting started. And Melinda, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so super, super simple. I have seen people do some amazing things with this embossing folder with inks and all the things, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going simple and it's going to be gorgeous. Trust me. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your smallest basic black layer. Now this is 3 by 4 1/4. And you're just going to pop it into your embossing folder wherever you like. So my card, this is going to be like the top. It's not landscape. I'm going to be doing it portrait. So I'm just going to layer it in a way that works best for portrait, but it doesn't really matter because this embossing folder is, you know, full of sunflowers either way, but wherever you think you like it, pop it in there. I'm going to run this through my embossing machine. Now I've got this off the side of my desk because if I run this through my embossing machine right here, it is going to shake the camera and I'm going to make everybody motion sick. And trust me, friends, I don't want to do that because I'm highly sensitive to motion sickness and I don't wish that curse on anybody. Hello, Annette from Ontario. Thanks for tuning in. And Susan, hello. Okay, so I've gone ahead, run it through my machine. I didn't make anybody motion sick, at least as far as I know. And we've got this really beautiful embossed layer in black. And you might be thinking, black? Kate, are you serious? Yes, friends, I'm serious. Black. So now all this card is a whole bunch of layers. And that's what really makes it beautiful. Well, of course, also the amazing sunflower embossed folder, right? So full disclosure, I've had this embossing folder for, well, since it was available on a pre-order. And the first time I used it was last night when I was deciding what to make for tonight's class. I'm getting far behind. I've got too many things that I want to do and not enough time to do it all. I know I'm not the only one. So that's my biggest problem is time. I really wish I didn't have to work full time. Then I would have so much more time for crafting. And I guarantee I'm not the only one. Right, Carissa? Can you imagine? Man, it would be nice to not have to work retirement or... Anyway. Okay, so we have glued down the embossed layer to the 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 inch crumb cake layer. Next, we layer this onto one of our very vanilla pieces. So if you don't like layering, you might be cringing by now because this is only the beginning. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm just layering this on the very vanilla. Now you could use basic white too, but the very vanilla is just a little bit softer and I like it when I'm pairing my crumb cake and my black to just have a little bit of a softer color to complement them. Yeah, Carissa, let's retire, right? Who needs to pay their mortgage? All right, there we go. Now we layer this onto a basic black layer. And then we're going to layer this onto our crumb cake. So this card is actually really quick to put together. I suppose once you cut all your gazillion layers, it still doesn't take that long because these are easy layers. Easy peasy. All right. So now we've got this. This is going to go right onto the front of our A2 tent fold card. Oh, Carissa, the scrapbooking, uh, it was exhausting. It was a crafting marathon. And I mean, I could have paused and caught up because you can watch the videos on demand. I didn't have to do it live, but I was convinced if I didn't do it live during the virtual scrapbooking retreat, then I wouldn't make time to do it. So 3 days, they were long days. I had the craft exhaustions, but I will show you once we're done here how thick my scrapbook is now. So I was a little put off by the sticker price, to be honest, of the virtual scrapbooking retreat that Stampin' Up! Put on. It was $340 Canadian, but honestly, by the end of the 3 days, when you see my scrapbook, I don't feel so bad about it anymore. It's thick. Now I just got to print the photos, and that's for next weekend, or maybe this weekend. All right, so now we've got our card front, or at least the bones of our card front, with all our beautiful layers, and I'm going to take my textured note die cut. Again, this is 2 1/4 by 3/4. If you're catching this on a replay on YouTube, I'm going to have all the measurements in the video description so you don't have to race to write down all the measurements. And if you're following me on my Facebook page, then you probably know I post a measurement post the day before I go live. So you can just save that photo and it has all the measurements. All right, so I'm using the happy birthday sentiment. I'm just going to try to pop it down right in the middle of my die cut. Nailed it. That was good. All right. Yeah, Tanya, that was a hard go, right? It was a hard go. Trust me, I wanted to take a break because it was a lot and they were really long, literally 5-minute breaks in between layouts, 4 layouts per day from what was like 1 p.m. Pacific time to 8 or 9 p.m. at night with 5-minute breaks in between. And I wasn't prepared the first day, so I was eating crackers for dinner because I didn't even think that I needed to. I just assumed we were going to have like I don't know, a dinner break. It was exhausting, Carissa. It was the craft exhaustions. All right. Actually, before I close my Tuxedo Black, I'm just going to stamp the inside Very Vanilla layer with the coordinating sentiment from the right words. Where is that? Oh, I put it here. Why this is one of my favorite stamp sets right now is there's all sorts of different sentiments and they have matching ones. Like for example, and you can figure out which ones go together based on the font. So the happy birthday one, you can see it's got this font, matches with this font, which says to someone we're celebrating every single day. So I love it. It's so handy. I like that. And I can stamp a sentiment on the inside of my card and it's not naked. I feel better about it. So this card, I have to pop in the mail tomorrow because I'm so ashamed to say it, but I had such a busy week before the scrapbooking retreat. My family and I went camping, and then when we got back, I jumped right into the scrapbooking retreat, and I missed calling one of my oldest friends on her birthday. Yeah, I did that. So I feel safe talking about it because I'm fairly confident she doesn't catch my lies. And if she does, Crystal, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I missed your birthday. Anyway, so I'm going to pop this in the mail for her. And my friend Jackie stealthily got me her address because she just built a new house and I don't know her mailing address. And I didn't want to ask her because I'm not ready to admit my shame for missing her birthday. So I don't want to phone her up, pretend I didn't remember her birthday, or apologize for missing her birthday and then put a card in the mail. No, I'm just sending a card, a little surprise happy mail. And I might write something in it about what a jerk I am for forgetting to call her on her birthday, and I don't even know if I've ever missed her birthday. Anyway, I digress. There we go. So I layered the Very Vanilla inside piece to the second piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic black. I was talking too much and not telling you what I was doing, so I'm sorry about that. And then just gluing that down to the inside of the card. So here we go. You have this extremely, I don't know, I might be jaded, but I just love the crumb cake and the black and the very vanilla. This card is gorgeous just like this. But we've got a little sentiment. We've got some gems. I've got my favorite linen thread. I think I'm using all my favorite things tonight. So little tip with your linen thread, you can pull out your the loose end of your linen thread and just almost close the bag it comes in almost all the way. Just leave like a 1/4 inch on the edge open with the thread sticking out, and then you can just pull out your thread and it just easily rolls off your linen thread. Like, super simple. I don't even know why I wasn't doing that ages ago, right? Yeah, Tanya, you're right. If you forget something, then you're behind. Like, it was very unforgiving. It was really unforgiving. I was definitely behind on day 1, and I was cranky about it because I didn't want to be behind, but I was, and then I had to catch up. So for day 2 and 3, an hour before it started, I went ahead in the instructions and I pre-stamped everything that I could and punched it out. Hello, Karen. Thanks for tuning in. It was very nice to see you. Yeah, Chris, I love to scribble glue. And that was another thing I wasn't anticipating because I love multi-purpose liquid glue. And everybody demonstrating was using seal. And it's so much quicker than multi-purpose glue. So I couldn't keep up with the gluing even. All right, so what I'm going to do, I've just added some tear and tape to the back of the sentiment. And I'm going to tie a very loose, and by loose I mean big looped, a very big looped bow out of the linen thread. Usually I like really tight, tidy little loops, but I'm going to make them big-ish. So they're like, I don't know if you can see that. They're big. And then I'm just going to stick that down right on the back of the sentiment on that tear and tape. And then I'm just going to kind of finagle the ends of my twine until I have it exactly the way I want it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks good. A little bit more. Almost perfect. And then what I like to do is just add another piece of tear and tape. Well, thank you, Diane and Janice, for complimenting me on my thread tip. It's super simple. Kate, this folder's not available now? I didn't know that. Now I feel like a jerk for showing it tonight. I'm sorry. I am sorry. What I can do, unless you're a demonstrator, I never asked you, Kate, if you're a demonstrator, but if you're not a demonstrator, I will definitely go into the inventory status report and find out when it's coming back for you. If you like, I can do that for you. You can also sign up now, or you can let them know that you want notifications when things are back in stock, and that actually works really good. I had that for the Cheers or the Celebratory Sips paper pack. I just clicked on that little button that said, yes, notify me when this is back in stock, and it worked like a charm. But by then I didn't need the paper anymore because my friend Tanya, the Canadian stamper, had already given me her paper. So, all right, so I've added some dimensionals. I've just moved that tear and tape out of the way a little bit because I don't like to stick my dimensionals on the back side of tear and tape. I don't think they stick well. And then I'm going to pop this on the bottom right-ish, somewhere along there. All right. All right, Debbie Newman, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. If you have trouble, if you don't know how to access that inventory status report, let me know, because sometimes the website's hard to navigate. So I am here for you guys. Now, I'm going to add 3, and I kept hearing about these. Leanne, I know you've told me this before, but they were talking about it in the scrapbooking retreat about making a triangle with your embellishments. I heard it a few times. So, but I don't know how I'm going to triangle it here because I'm looking for flat places to stick these beautiful little rhinestones. Maybe one here. So it's going to be a very wide, long triangle. Almost a right triangle, but not quite. Oh, Carissa, it says August 4th. Well, shoot, hey, we'll miss it for the free shipping, which starts Wednesday. This might be the first time ever that I haven't ordered the day before they announce free shipping. So if you haven't heard, if you're not a demonstrator, you may not have heard, but I think people are talking about it. Free shipping Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For orders, at least in Canada, your orders have to be $100. Probably not as much in the States, right? All right. Yeah, thanks, Carissa. You're good to me. Oh, Alice, thanks for the hearts. Those are cute. All right, so here's our card. That is it. Super simple. I don't know if you can see that gorgeous embossing, but I don't think you can get much easier than this, and the layers make it gorgeous. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to plop down this massively fat scrapbooking binder. One moment. Oh my gosh, I gotta raise the camera. I don't even know if I can raise the camera enough. And now you guys are going to see how truly messy my workspace is. This is a very small little desk and it is messy. All right, so I'm going to start in January. I don't have them in order because this is going to be Kai's first year of pictures. So I'm actually starting my book in June because that's when he was born. But all right, so here we go. Here is January. I don't know if I'm fully in view, but I think you get the gist. So I still need to print photos. There was lots of interactive pieces, which makes the scrapbook super, super chunky. Like, it's a lot. So these little pieces, they pop out. We learned how to adjust your memory protectors, which is actually relatively simple to do with just a little cutting blade. And then these pieces pop in and it's still protected. And then February is one of my favorites because it's super cute. And then this is a little flap. And then this, I have my little template here, but I'm going to take a photo. This is my template for it. And I'm going to cut it into a heart and I'm going to glue it right there. So that goes there. I got to stick this back in there. I'm going to forget. I'll lose it. All right, March, fun colors. I know it's a little bit flowery for Kai. He's a boy, but I don't care. I'm going for it. So this was another interactive page where we cut out this flap and then there's a photo here and then you can lift this up and there's a photo underneath. It's a lot. It's busy. May. Oh, now I'm back to June. I got to flip to the start. Well, thanks, Janet. I'm glad you liked tonight's card. And Hillary, yeah, I agree. It is really elegant with all the layers. So here's June, super fun. And we learned how to do flip-flops, which were really simple. So a photo in here. You can put a photo in the back and then another photo here. And this one's a double flip-flop, so I can put 5 photos there. I got a lot of photos to pick. I love the colors in July. This is a space reserved for journaling, but I'm going to put another picture there because I'm a scrapbook beginner. I'm not sure if I'm ready to journal. August was really fun colors as well. And all these little, so this is for journaling where you write something about picture 1, picture 2, picture 3, and each number has a little piece of string that directs your eye to the picture. So that's so clever. This one took the longest. September's layout, and Sarah Douglas taught this. So this is a explosion box. So you got a photo here. Then you got a little photo that tucks in this pocket here. And then you can journal here, photo here, photo here. You can put photos or journaling little things on these tags, another photo here. And then these little pieces all come out of their pockets. It's a little bit sticky and you can either journal or add more photos. Isn't it crazy? I can't believe it's just so much, right? If I do it again, I am going to like order in takeout every single night because yeah, you're busy and I'd love to do it with a friend. October, this honestly was my least favorite layout out of all of them, but it was still fun to make. November, and it, again, little interactive things where you can pull out these little tags and put pictures in them. And then December, and again, interactive, right? Really fun. So thanks for sticking with me if you're watching all the scrapbooking show and tell. I'm going to flip the camera around. Oh, it's hot and sweaty in here after dragging out that big book. So yeah, so the first thing that happened to my scrapbook was my husband cut himself one night when he was cutting up a roast. And he went over to the kitchen table and the event hadn't ended yet. So I have everything, right? Like there's not an inch of free space on our dining room table. I have claimed the entire space for 3 days straight. So he doesn't have his glasses on and he can't see very well without his glasses on. So he's bleeding and he's trying to get a paper towel. Well, anyway, he bled on my scrapbook. So I had to fix a few things with my own paper, which was no big deal. But there's some biohazard in my scrapbook, right, unfortunately, right there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm not going. It's just the tiniest little smudge, but he's terrible. He cuts himself all the time and then he bleeds everywhere. But he can't see where he's bleeding because he's never wearing his glasses. So I'm constantly like coming home from work and saying, "What'd you cut yourself on now?" Because there's some sort of blood trail that's dried on the floor. Anyway, I don't know. Am I the only one that has a husband that seems to be really accident prone by cutting his fingers all the time? Like he needs to wear his reading glasses all the time, so he doesn't do that. Anyway, I digress. If I creep some of you out with that story, I'm really sorry. It's probably too much information, right? But that's my life. I have a husband who can't see and refuses to wear his reading glasses. Yeah, Leanne, that's a great idea. I will try that. It's the tiniest little smudge, and I'm not going to say anything to him about it because he actually did feel really bad. And when he feels bad, he gets defensive, and then I get mad. So, so it's probably good that we say nothing. I say nothing. Anyway, thank you, Brenda. It was really fun. I know, I got to print the photos. That's going to be the hardest part. Yeah, Leanne, you are a nurse. I knew that about you. I always wanted to be a nurse, but I'm super squeamish with blood, like so squeamish. When he cuts himself, I say, I'll get you the band-aids, but don't show me. Like, please don't show me. Anyway, he was quite worried about me when I became a mother. He's like, if Kai cuts himself, you got to be able to handle it. And of course, well, thanks, Geeta. Yeah, I'm hearing many people throw out peroxide, so I happen to have a bottle of that. I'm going to give it a try. So if you crafted along, I'm going to post a photo of this card a little bit later. I'd love to see what you make. If you don't have this embossing folder, this is going to work with any embossing folder you have. In fact, my idea came from a card I'd done a while ago for one of my in-person classes, maybe a year and a half ago. I can't remember the name of this embossing folder, but it was a floral embossing folder, and then I actually die cut out some flowers in black and I added them. So this didn't just come out of my brain. I cased it from myself. I cased it from old Kate, who probably cased it from somebody else. I just can't remember who. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Free shipping starts on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is the first time ever that Stampin' Up! Has announced a free shipping before I've actually just put an order in. So I'm feeling really lucky about that. Hey, Nikki. Thanks for tuning in. It's nice to see you. I miss you. All right, Thursday night will be project number 4 in the Celebratory Sips card class at home. It's going to be a fun fold, and I'm really excited about this one. I know I'm saying this every time I make a card now that I'm excited about it, but it's the truth. So Thursday is going to be really fun, and it is a very fun fold, and I think you need to tune in just to see it, because even if you don't have the Celebratory Sip suite or bundle, you can use anything, right? You can use anything. All right, that is it. I am going. Kita's cut herself and didn't realize it until she wonders where all that red ink is coming from. Oh, Gita, that is funny. That is really funny. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're catching this on a replay, either on Facebook or YouTube, say hello, tell me where you're from, and perhaps I will see everybody again Thursday evening. Bye for now.